Okay, we are going live on Facebook. Welcome everybody. My name is Yulin, Yulin Li. Thank you for attending today's online training presented by Megan CPA. And we're offering today's session both on Zoom. For anyone who joined us on Zoom, thank you so much. And also on Facebook Live. Facebook is on Megan CPA's Facebook page. Any one of you who are my followers, you're welcome to sign in on Facebook Live. Feel free to submit any of your questions on Zoom, chat, or through the Facebook comments. So we really have a lot to discuss today. So without further delay, let's get started. Today's topic is how to reduce the risks of being a producer in a society. And as you can see on the screen, welcome all the producers. And I hope you guys are ready for today's session. Before that, let me tell you a story, right? The story was actually illustrated in a book of Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, when she talked about the difference between a producer, right, in a society and the looters, right? She contrasts them in a way to make a point. A producer is anybody like a creator of a product, a designer, right? An entrepreneur, or someone who is producing a product, a design, or services for the society. They're the underpinning and the bedrock of the growth of the society. In contrast, there are looters. Then you ask, who are the looters? The book talks about the looters being in an authoritarian state. The state itself set up various rules that really set up barriers for the producers like you to grow, especially as the producers getting bigger and bigger, the barriers getting stronger and more complicated, getting to a point you cannot even carry it forward, then the producers quit. So actually in the book, producers end up on strike. And the reality, like what we're facing today, as you grow bigger, there are various risks was set up by the society or by certain kind of authorities to help you to hinder your growth, right? For example, taxes, right? One of my friends, I can tell you, who has put all his efforts to grow his dream through his business. And as he grow bigger and bigger, he kept telling me, Yulin, I am paying over 50% of my income, 50% of my income to taxes. While paying tax obviously is a responsibility of any individual in the society, but there are taxes, certain taxes. Society was regulation, the tax law is set up to help you to be able to manage yourself instead of just paying it to the government, right? Help them to build walls, whatever it is. You can channel them in the social cause that's also benefit the society. We're going to talk a lot more today. Before that, let me do a polling question. Right? How many of you knows there are how many pages currently in the U.S. tax code? Right? How many pages? You can see on this picture on the right. This is 2 stacks of paper that Paul Ryan, who is a senator, right, when he presented in 2017 to the Senate to make a point, there are current tax laws is so complicated. The 2 stacks representing how many pages? I can see that some of you saying there are 10,000, 50,000, or 100,000. The matter of fact is that nobody really knows. Even the tax experts, even the IRS, if you go out and ask them how many pages currently in the US tax code, nobody really knows. Why? As you can see, right? It is really hard to keep up with constant landscape changing of the laws and to be certain that you are taking full advantage of the tax benefits and the resources. Because there are constant changing of the laws as illustrated here. In 2019, Secure Act was passed, which is very significant to the retirement savings, especially for the business owners who can fully take advantage of this. Then by the COVID hit, CARES Act, which stands for Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, passed. A lot of you benefited from it because you work with your accountants to get PPP loans, EIDL loans, or various benefits for your business, right? Or even for individual, right? The stimulus check is part of the CARES Act. And then later on, there were implementation guidelines provided by the Treasury Department or by the IRS who make the rules even more complicated. As a practitioner, we were inundated into the notices guidelines during those few months, right? I'm still going on because we have to cope with it. For a business owner like you or individual, how do you deal with this? It's a big problem. So who is this online class for? Is it for the people who are already very rich, or for a business owner, or someone who is a private doctor? Most of my clients are really in private practice. Or somebody who doesn't even have a business. The matter of fact is that this webinar is for anybody who willing to hear something else that can really help you to lower your risk as a producer. The goal of this class has two folds. Number one, I'd like to tell you, if there is a way for you to preserve the hard-earned money you have earned and to grow your wealth, one way is through investment, your time and energy into tax strategies to hopefully you can minimize that. Another way of doing this is to find a trusted partner who can work with you, understand your situation. So another point of today's conversation, I want to tell you, Megan CPA is set up as ideal partner on your journey to your own life and the business. And Megan is anchored by two pillars. One is the trust, the utmost trust with these customers. And secondly, is by the continuing investment into technologies and also elite tax strategies, which we'll discuss today. So before that, let me tell you a little bit more about myself, right? I am a certified public accounting CPA, close to 20 years. And I'm also a CFA, which stands for Chartered Financial Analyst. I used to manage money for people. And also I am MBA, graduate from University of Illinois, concentrated on finance and accounting. Finally, I'm also actuary. I used to work for one of the global life insurance company for a long time as a senior actuary. That's enough for myself. The more interesting part of my journey is to tell you the story as an entrepreneur. The first 10 years of my career, right, I worked for this global life insurance company as a CFO and also senior actuary. The job and the life is so comfortable. The family is a very comfortable life for me. Well, around 2015-ish, I took a turn. I started a new adventure. I opened a company which is in the health space as a startup. This is an image of me when I was with the company. So the company is providing services and software for people with pre-diabetes to help them to manage their lifetime journey. Well, it didn't start very well. I learned several major lessons I want to share with you today. One of it is this: the technology and the product alone can really take entrepreneur or a company so far. There are other things, for example, building a long-lasting customer base. It is really the core of how you can build and grow a business, which I want to take that to Megan CPA. And Megan, as I mentioned earlier, really anchored by the two things: trust and the continuing investment into technologies, and to make the time saving and also the certainty, bring that certainty to you as a customer. So if you have been struggling with any of the risks as a producer, right, and you are not really alone, especially on taxes. There are many of my clients are suffering from the same risk they are, just like me, I am facing as well as an entrepreneur. So today I am going to tell you there are 3 secrets in tax savings, right, to help you to manage your wealth, to achieve your financial goals. The number one is that why there are 91 or 18% of the Fortune 500 companies really pay zero tax. You will wonder why that's the case, right? And I'll tell you why. Secondly, if there is a storm coming, as a lot of you know, the reopening did not go very well. If there is a second storm of episode 2 of COVID-19, how do you cope with it? Are you ready for it? Right. Thirdly, I want to tell you this is why this is the best time for you to make a change from your current contents or practice to a new start. The secret number one is that, as you know, there are so many people, especially the 91 of Fortune 500 company like Amazon, did not pay any taxes. You must be wondering what happened, right? Here are some of the tax strategies they have been using. For example, as I listed on the left here, the R&D tax credit stands for the research and development tax credits, are used mainly by the startups. The startup use it to offset their payroll taxes, right? Because they invest in personnel, technology, or equipment into research and development. The second one, some of you may have heard of, was a law passed a few years back to encourage people to invest money into underserved, less developed areas in the community, which is called opportunity zone. As a real estate investor, if you put your money, especially capital gain money, into the opportunity zone, you are able to defer that for 7 or 10 years. Then further on, if the money have any extra gains, that gain can be reduced or even be avoided, right? Cost segregations are one of the examples of taking advantage of the bonus depreciation. Especially you're in the field of property investment, you will learn that if you, let's say, build a roof or upgrade HVAC system, the cost will need to be depreciated over a long period of time, 5 years, 10 years, depends on the lifetime, right? Allowed by IRS. However, if you are able to identify a certain part of the building that can be segregated from to be able to take advantage of the bonus depreciation, then suddenly you will be able to getting a lot more upfront deduction versus long term. The next one says charitable holding companies. For anyone have a charitable intent, this is going to be a great strategy. It has been used by many of the rich people. For example, Zuckerberg and people like that, right? They're using it. And captive insurance, the employee share ownership plans, etc. The list just going to go on and on. There are many strategies out there, let alone the combination of the strategies of continue to save you money and to help you to achieve your lifetime goals. So let me give you an example just to make the point clear. This is one of my clients who is a doctor, right? She's making about $100,000 from her job, maybe part-time job. Same time from her clinic, she makes $350,000. So the combined income is $450,000. Her income is above the qualified business income deduction range. It's phased up. She cannot deduct any of that. She's paying $98,000 out of the $450,000 to income tax. And then we suggested to her, instead of putting all the $350,000 in your own pocket, why not allocate $100K to a retirement saving plan? This can be for herself, also for her employees. There are two folds of benefits. One, for her own retirement, can be used in the future. Secondly, help her to retain her employee. The ending result is that she was able to qualify for the QBIT, which is qualified business income deduction, and was able to save $43,000. Imagine of this, you put away $100,000, suddenly the IRS says, I'm going to pay you $43,000 of it to make it happen for you. So what do you think about that, right? So this is a tremendous benefit that's 100% legal. It's set up by the law to encourage business owners just like you to fully take advantage of it. Simply not many people know about this, right? So sometimes ignorance, it is really costly. And that's why you're here. And I want to make the point further is that Magen CPA is not only supported based on ourselves research, also by a community, which is called Due Diligence Project. It's a pool of over hundreds of IRS tax practitioners and the tax attorneys. We pull our resources together to vet the strategies to make sure they work. A lot of us using the strategies or the tax designs for ourselves, for our own clients, so we can apply it to the whole community, right? So we're supported by that. The second secret I want to tell you is, when the next COVID hit, how do you manage it? The key is this: a lot of your contents will tell you, okay, well, I am busy, I'm swamped by my own work, I really cannot allocate more time, or simply I just don't have the energy for it. And the key of here is that you want to find a trusted advisor who really be attentive to the needs you have at the moment we need it. Let me give you an example. One of, again, is my doctor's client and her husband. I was talking about during the COVID, she has to shut down her clinic and lay off or furlough her employees. Then she came to me and saying, Yulin, how can you help me? This is how we set up. We recommended her to various COVID-19 like SBA loans and PPP loans to help her to navigate this the period, so she can go back and gain her footing when the reopen happens. And then the next client, who is doing also a small business owner, and she not only received the PPP and the EIDL loans, but also she was able to get some tax back. She filed the tax before, and she owes the government, especially states, thousands of dollars. Were able to come in and help her sort through all the things that she is complying, not necessarily to make that tax payment. She's able to get back to her on her foot. So in summary, right, the secret number two, you really want to find somebody you can rely upon over time, especially at the critical time you need it. Then I want to tell you why technology and everything else this is the best time for you to think about. Do you have the best resources around you? Do you have the trusted advisors near you to support you? Let me show you a picture of the major issues I heard about the accountants they have. A lot of them saying that almost 47%, the current accountant not very proactive. What is proactive? If the accountant only focusing on the compliance work, like taxation and tax preparation, audit, those are the compliance work, versus and be able to sit down with you to understand the specific need currently, and also short-term, medium-term, and long-term needs. That's called proactive. It's a tax planning that can help you to design your life in a lot more productive way. The next complaint is that doesn't provide advice. Simply, you send me the data or information of all the taxes, you pay for it, right? And also, the time frame, how much time you allocated really working with their clients. And you got the picture. If you do look for a new accountant, my recommendation is that you want to find accountants really based on a system that can help you to grow. This is one of the systems that I would recommend. It's called CCH Access. It is a tax preparation tool, but it was built with an engine that not only you file your taxes, but also you can securely upload and download your information online through the portal, right? This is very important in the cyberspace, given the privacy and IP issues around it. Then the system can seamlessly integrate it with any of the bookkeeping tools you use, and the common ones like QuickBook and Xero, whatever you're using, that can be seamlessly integrated with CCH Access Tax. If you're using a payroll provider like Augusto or OnPay, they can be plugged in as just a switch on, right? So this program make the switch from a current accountant to a new accountant so easy. So automation and technology has made the switching of accounting firm a very, very easy process. So if I showed you what works, my client, as private doctor, was able to save $43,000 by simply investing 100K in her retirement. So I want to tell you a little bit more about this. I know you heard a lot of information. You may say, okay, I'm a little bit overwhelmed. I wonder if I can just make a special offer to you today, how you can implement some of the advice or secrets I talk about today. I'll just spend another 10 minutes if that's okay with you. All right. So what are you going to get, right? So as part of today's participants, I'm going to offer you 2 years of a free tax return review, right? This is worth roughly $300. And also we're going to select one of the tax strategies that you like to dive in, analyze it, and be able to have an idea how to minimize it, right? Plus, you're going to spend 30 minutes of your time with me to fully understand what is the roadmap going forward in terms of your financials and tax saving strategies or anything else that's on your mind, right? So the collective, the total value is roughly about $1,419. So who is this who is this offer for, right? Is it for the business owners, for the affluent business owners, or private doctors, real estate investors, or the super rich, or the people who is none of above, right? It is for everybody who is interested. Let me give you an example here, how one of my clients that really benefited from the services we provided. This is a little richer client, a business owner. I've been managing real estate for many, many years, and his marginal tax rate is way over 50%. And he came to us trying to find a way to be able to manage the money instead of paying it all to Uncle Sam, be able to use some of it in his own cause of allocating to a charity, for example, be able to control the money, right? Be able to define where the society or a segment of the society can directly benefit it from himself. So we designed this, was able to save him $17.5 million. Most of my clients are not super rich, are really in the range between 150,000 to 450,000 of dollars of income. And the average tax saving for them is about between $5,000 to $50,000. So you should ask yourself, what is the certainty, right? Having an expert behind you to be able to help you to chart your next phase of your wealth and money management. What is the time savings worth to you? I really have two choices. I can just go cheap, really not invest, or I can continue to invest in the technologies and also study of the tax saving strategy for my clients. I chose the second. So if all I did today was to tell you, finally, you can have a peace of mind knowing you have an expert behind your business to help you as a producer, how much would that be worth? If I only can tell you have a certainty on your cash flows and financials, knowing your risk, how you're going to manage it, how much would that be worth to you? If I can give you more time, but simply you dedicated some of the resources to us, right? Let us take the burden off your shoulder and allow you to spend your precious time on your business or your family, right? How much would that be worth, right? You can see that it's probably worth $1,000, $850, or even more. But because today is so special, I'm going to give you everything we discussed today without any cost. The only thing you need to do is go type in the address down below, megancpa.as.me/go, and sign up for a first session with me. It's of no cost to you, and you will learn quite a bit about your next journey ahead. The real question is this: is it really worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check it out, right? To find something that you really didn't know, you're not aware of. Will it pay itself just simply by signing up, scheduling a call with me, right? To know what is the next stage, right? How the elite tax strategies can be in place for you and for your family. Again, what you're going to get is that we're going to do a 2 years optional, 2 years tax return review if you like. We're going to talk about one of the tax strategies or the most issue you're concerned with, you want to resolve financially, business-wise, and we're going to spend 30 minutes of time to sit down to find a course forward. So the whole package is roughly about $1,500. You will receive this free of charge, 100% free. So that's it for, thank you for participating. And I hope you will give yourself a chance to start a complete new relationship with the best-in-class tax saving strategies. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and send me any questions you have through Zoom or through Facebook Live.